No tax rebate yet? All kinds of reasons for delayed and no-show payments are piling up. So far, supposedly, the IRS has issued approximately 45 million tax rebate payments, totaling nearly $41 billion. The payments, ranging from $300 to $600 a person, or $1,200 for a married couple, were distributed mainly by direct deposit to some taxpayers who arranged to have their refunds delivered that way. The supposed goal of the direct deposit program was to get money into taxpayers' bank accounts or wallets as fast as possible. But hundreds and hundreds of thousands of taxpayers who had their e-filing or tax preparation fees deducted from their refunds are now discovering that they'll receive their checks by mail, even if they received direct deposit of their refunds. Here's the reason. So they say, if you arranged to have fees deducted from your refund, the tax preparation company used a third-party bank to process the transaction. For example, if you use TurboTax, the transaction was handled by Santa Barbara Bank and Trust. The IRS supposedly transmitted your refund to a temporary account at the bank, which retained its own fees, even more fees, and then sent the tax preparation fees to the tax preparer and deposited the balance of your refund in your account, says a spokeswoman for TurboTax. As a result, the IRS has no actual bank account information, or so they say, for taxpayers who had their fees deducted from their refunds. Those taxpayers, along with taxpayers who also applied for a refund anticipation loan, will now receive their checks by mail, no matter what they've been told. You know how it is, the checks in the mail. So, the next time lawmakers decide to stimulate the economy, maybe they should hire a fleet of helicopters to drop $100 bills over populated areas. It would be a lot easier. In fact, many taxpayers who were expecting a refund had filed their returns before that February 13th, when the economic stimulus package was signed into law. Those taxpayers and their tax preparers had no way of knowing that deducting their fees would delay their tax rebates. A serious delay. Could take weeks, months. How about this? Let's not even have a stimulus package. Why don't y'all just apply it to national debt? It would have been a lot easier. Oh, by the way, national debt per household. Well, every household's obligation is now more than $500,000 for the national debt, which is running at something like $58 trillion and rising rapidly. Only the government can get away with something like that. A $58 trillion national debt and rising rapidly. What's the interest on that? Probably unimaginable. Oh, let the future generations perhaps pay it off. No, there's nothing possibly right about obligating the babies yet to be born, the future generations, to have to pay a huge national debt that's always climbing, because the United States government does not pay as you go. No, they put everything on the national credit card, but it has no limits. Only in America. Anyway. Meanwhile, also, many taxpayers who owed taxes this year are also discovering that the rebates will arrive by mail now, even if they provided bank account information on the returns to have it go to direct deposit. Or, here's a good one, why don't you just put all the checks in the mail, so you can always say that the check's in the mail. If you use direct debit to pay your tax bill, the IRS won't deposit your rebate in that account. You'll still get your rebate check by mail. Or how about just no check in the mail for all, just thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of people? Here you go. Other taxpayers are receiving a much smaller than expected slice of the supposed stimulus pie. Still others are discovering that they won't get a rebate at all. Some of the myriad reasons. One spouse doesn't have a social security number. If you filed your 2007 tax return jointly with someone who doesn't have a social security number, you won't receive a rebate. You don't get nothing. That provision was included in the economic stimulus package to supposedly prevent illegal immigrants from receiving the rebates. But it also affects taxpayers whose spouses are here legally but haven't yet received a social security number. Many of these individuals pay taxes using an individual taxpayer identification number issued by the IRS. But if you or your spouse used an ITIN on your tax return and you file jointly, you won't get any money, no rebate. Or you or your spouse owes back taxes or child support or any of a myriad of things, or have defaulted supposedly on your federal student loans. In that case, as in a myriad of other cases, some or all of your rebate could or will be withheld. Some readers who are married to people with these types of debts have asked whether they'll still receive their share of the rebate. Unfortunately, you know the answer. It's just plain no. So why have a stimulus economic plan at all if all kinds of people are not going to get no stimulus check? And then they're going to mail it over many months, depending on your last two digits of your social security number. Some checks will come in June, maybe. Checks in the mail, remember? Or some checks will come in July, maybe. Or how about spread it all the way out to August, or maybe even September? So how can you have a stimulus plan if the checks are all spread out over all kinds of time? No, that's not going to do the economy any good whatsoever. This is a flawed, failed economic stimulus plan. No, this isn't going to do anything. It's not going to help the economy at all. This is what's wrong with the United States government. They can't hardly do anything. They become almost non-functional as far as helping the economy out. Avoiding recession is not going to happen, is it? Not with the government we presently have. Maybe the next president, the next Congress, or whatever, can do better. We hope so. Anyway, these are more signs, end times, last days, and there are many. A government that can't even give people some money to help with the rising cost and increasing inflation, the always record-setting, almost everyday price of oil or gasoline. Yes, these are more signs.